Polo.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, for the third hour of Halcyon City Defenders. So, as we left you, Finn had stormed out of the room, having had enough of your shit and your accusations, and in doing
proofs.
so, he's shed his afraid condition from running away from this issue. But you were contacted by the disembodied voice of someone
Monica.
you don't know, but yes, Monica LaFay. Telling you not to trust Deacon Graves and to go and see for yourself. And in response to this, you decided to turn on the television.
As if any one of us actually trusted the guy to begin with.
Well, the point being, of course, that the only way Elizabeth Van Halen could have known where to send that thing is if somebody informed her that I would be there. And the only person apart from the team who knew I was going to be there is Deacon Graves.
Yep. We saw last session, I believe, him having a phone call about with her about that.
But in character, of course, we weren't there to see that. So this is the basically this is the logical rationalization. That's a difficult word. That Jewel is coming up with is that this is he is the one who sold her out.
That is a completely correct and a valid observation. Let's see.
Unless it was one of the team.
Yeah, unless it was a teammate, of course.
No, not even Vigil.
Oh, thank you for making that comment, AJ. Thank you for making that comment.
What comment?
It might be one on the team. Thank you.
Yeah.
That is just...
It could be.
Just the fact that is now a thought is so great. Okay, so you flip on the television.
Imagine if it was someone you really liked too. I mean, that would be horrible.
I imagine like there's basically like there's a bar / reception area for this like arcade, and above that, hanging like at an angle pointing down to like an area where you could sit and enjoy some popcorn or whatever. It's like an old CRTV. And you can like it still works, so you can flick it on and scroll through the appropriate channels, and as you get to channel 6, you see the face of Susan Ramirez doing the Ramirez remonstrations, shitting on Nightshade. Like you cut in as she's literally in the moment of being like, and of course, in tonight's events, and the horrible attack that happened on the charity gala at the Shield Supreme Museum of the Arts, who should be there but Halcyon City's enemy number 1. And there's like a picture of you.
Harsh.
There's a picture of you superimposed with like red prison bars, like crisscrossing over you. Like, yeah, and she just like goes on a tirade about you and how much you suck and how much of a danger you are to everyone.
I think Starlight, when she sees this, leans toward Nightshade. You think she secretly has a crush on you? She is doing a lot to do this.
Yeah, let's see if
Nightshade chuckles.
remind me if you managed to take influence away from her last time you saw her.
Yes.
Did you?
I rejected. Well, no, I don't think I did. I rejected her influence one other time.
All right.
But I don't think I took the influence away.
All right. So in that case,
while they are talking, by the way, they can probably see Jewel quietly rolling up 2 small wads of cloth and putting them in her cheeks. Just they can see that while they're talking.
Yeah.
In her cheeks.
Yes, she puts them in her cheeks.
Cool.
I'll get back to it.
As you do that, and like as Starlight is making fun of it, she's absolutely like laying into you and slaughtering you on national TV, Nightshade. It's not like like the entire audience that is like listening to her show are handpicked to be her supporters and like people who agree with her. So like you hear a room full of like 200 people agree loudly with her whenever she makes a point about how awful you are.
Yeah. Whoa, yeah. The applause signs go on.
It's like there's a picture of you that like arrives on, like up in the right corner, and people boo loudly.
She's Halcyon City version of Sean Hannity.
I kind of based the Ramirez demonstration on the O'Reilly factor.
Oh, brilliant!
Yeah, so she goes on that tirade, and I want to challenge you because she is once again, as you tune into this like hateful onslaught. This is you being told that at least a segment of the population hates you enough to keep her on primetime every day. So why don't we leverage some influence over you and see what happens?
All right. And that's a flat 2d6, right?
Yeah. She's telling you who you are. And you are a dangerous menace. You're a young criminal and a vigilante masquerading as one of the noble heroes and like the memory of the city. You're exploiting the hearts and minds of young people who do not know enough to be able to identify you for the threat and the menace you are. And you do all of this while standing on in the spotlight of the great people of Halcyon City who should be praised, but who must share their space with delinquents like you. So why don't we? Do you want to accept her view of you, or do you want to resist it?
Oh no, I rejected it.
All right. So why don't we see if you successfully reject it?
He just rolled.
Oh,
I rolled an 8.
Okay, sweet.
Yep.
So let's see. You on that you pick one of the conditions below.
I'm gonna mark potential.
All right. What will you do to immediately prove her wrong? Are you gonna crash the show? What's your plan here?
Can I help with that, by the way?
On rejecting influence, I have no cause to believe you can.
Okay.
Otherwise, I would also like to comfort or something.
Basically, what Diamond does
after the fact.
What Diamond does at this point is when she is halfway through her screed of bullshit, Diamond furrows her brows really, really deeply, and puts up her middle finger and her index finger and puts them against her thumb in sort of a calculating gesture in front of her face.
Mm-hmm.
And then with her cheeks full of cloth, she drawls out, she should be sleeping with the fishes. I can make her an offer she can't refuse.
Sweet. So you
Starlight
tried
slowly turns her head toward Diamond with a what the fuck?
And then she takes out the wads of cloth and spits because ew.
I need to know, like, we need to use this as the prime time to establish the level of sacrilege actually going on in the Halcyon City Defenders. Are there anyone among these young heroes who don't get the reference?
Yep.
Yeah.
Starlight doesn't get it.
Delightful.
I don't think Sparrow gets it either.
Delightful.
I get it.
God, yes.
All right, so
And that's important. As long as he gets it, because he's the one who's the target of it.
cool. So you catch out of the corner of your eye, you catch Starlight, you catch White Sparrow. Both of them have no clue what you're doing, and maybe that constitutes a powerful blow on your soul.
Yes. Oh.
But
Group activity?
at least Nightshade seems to know what you're saying. However, unfortunately, he's also presently gripped by a need to do something to prove this woman wrong. What is that?
Okay, so he after seeing that, he's like, all right, that is just enough. And so he pulls out his cell phone. He calls the call-in number for.
Oh no!
Yes.
Oh, that is the worst idea. I am so into that. Okay.
Yeah. And so he calls in anonymously, I guess.
Yeah. You get a person like a desk sergeant, right? Like some guy manning the desk in the building, being like, "Yes, hello, this is Channel 6 reception desk. What can I do you for?" And what
you for?
Yeah, whatever Valley girl they have paid to sit there wearing a suit that doesn't fit her. Basically talks you through the situation. What do you say to her? Because you totally get on air. The question is how.
Yeah. So he's just comes up with a fake name. I thought maybe about using my best friend's name, but maybe that's a bad idea. Yeah, I was like, yeah, it's my name's Daniel Crichton. I'm calling in to speak on Nightshade on Susan Ramirez's show.
Yes, have you had any encounter with the vigilante known as Nightshade, or do you have any information pertinent to this, to his location, or any stories about times where he has caused you trouble, sir?
And so I think he has his like volume turned up loud so everyone else can kind of hear this. He kind of like covers the receiver and it's like, what? Treating me like a criminal. And it just goes back. It's like, yeah, I did have an encounter with him not too long ago.
That's very good, sir. We'll be patching you through to the show. You'll be on live. Please, get any children out of the room. Make sure that there's no construction work going on in the background for the sake of your clear and precise commentary, please, sir.
Yeah, please go outside and ask the construction workers to stop.
Yeah.
Just like recuse yourself to somewhere where
Basically,
we can
by
hear what
this point, at this point, Diamond picks up 2 pieces of metal and is standing there ready to bang them together on anyone's, if anybody gives her a sign.
All right.
I think Sparrow transforms into, what's the English word for a brøleabe?
Oh my god, a screaming
Yowler
monkey.
monkey.
Yeah.
A howling
Monkey
monkey.
is-
Meanwhile, Starlight is just looking at him with a, "Are you sure this is okay?"
Yeah.
Yeah, you see him like ready himself for something that seems like an entirely shitty idea, and
It's
then
so- yeah.
Exactly. She's just like, "Are you sure this is a good idea?"
we see
so
like
he-
on the television, we see like, and we have a caller in, like this is, she changes to a segment where she has like live call-ins from people who report on the horror of Nightshade, and like the guy is hanging up as she just finished talking about like how dreadful you are and just repeating verbatim what she's been saying up to this point. And then she's like, and then calling in from Halcyon City, we have a Mr. Crichton. Mr. Crichton, I believe that you have some more to tell us about this vigilante masquerading as a hero.
Yeah, and he like switches it to a speakerphone real quick and is like holding up his hand for no one to say anything yet. He's like, I remember one time when he saved your sorry ass, and then just starts like making a bunch of noise
Yep,
into the
and
phone.
Yep.
Diamond begins singing Old MacDonald very loudly, and she can't sing. And she starts clanging these things together.
Yeah.
And Sparrow, of course, does the whole, what was it, yowling?
Yeah.
So that happens for a moment, and we can see like on the TV, the studio goes dead quiet as we hear like this, like, I remember something, and then like rah, 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 clang, clang, clang goes the trolley. And yeah, as this happens, then like she does like a like cutting the throat gesture, and the audio goes quiet from your phone.
Yeah.
And she looks into the camera and she's like, "That, ladies and gentlemen, was a call from the vigilante himself trying to sabotage our show." And the boos just rise out of the ground, just like,
At this point, Diamond is probably rolling on the floor, laughing herself to bits and pieces. And in between sobs of laughter, she will manage to choke out something along the lines of, "This qualifies as a team exercise."
Vigorous
Yeah.
monkey laughter from Sparrow.
I have a flip phone, so I just slap it shut, and I have like a shit-eating grin on my face.
so this is like, we have that moment of
Starlight
you
is
guys
just
like
sitting there
sharing a
with a
laugh.
hand covering her face, not laughing, and just slowly muttering to herself, "Oh my god, you guys are idiots."
And as if to puncture that, we see like on the next panel, we see a lot of you laughing. We have Starlight being like, "You guys are idiots," and in the background we see the TV in like the middle ground, and we hear from the TV. So I would like to extend an invitation to the criminal and vigilante known as Nightshade to meet with me on a face-to-face interview right here at the remonstration, so he can publicly defend his outrageous acts and stand trial for all of America to witness the quality of his character, if he has the spine to show. I will take him down a notch for you, America. And the audience like, "Woo! Yeah!" Like whistling and clapping.
Oh no.
But the news of Deacon Grave seems to be suspiciously absent.
That's well, that's something at least. Oh well, it won't last. Maybe we should go and see what Finn is doing. Just he ran off in a huff.
And
Yeah, you guys can go check on him. I'm gonna go back to the museum. Perhaps whoever this was that contacted us there may be some truth to what she was saying.
Wait with going back at least until tomorrow. The place is going to be crawling with cops.
Now, I'm the number one most wanted in Halcyon City, and they haven't caught me yet. I say jokingly.
Yeah. Let's call out for pizza. Pizza. No, you can have pizza.
Oh no, pizza! That's a great idea.
Yeah, you can have pizza. I'll call out for a burger.
You don't like pizza?
No. Pizza
Why?
is evil. Pizza is evil.
How is that even remotely possible that you do not like pizza?
I have a number of words for you here. Anchovies, pineapples, shrimp, clams, tuna, fresh spinach, fresh salad, canned corn that went off, and ranch dressing.
As she is listing this, as she's listing this, Starlight is writing it down for a pizza especially for her.
Oh,
I will do the burger thing.
Was that one pizza?
Yes.
Then you haven't had a proper pizza?
I will have my burger.
Could you at least promise to try a slice of mine?
Nope.
Cutting out from this conversation
Quickly,
as you start chilling your start chilling and ordering your fast food with a kind of joviality to you. In the meantime, while this has happened, just to interject, in between panels and not particularly on short but wide panels, we have seen Finn interspersed in these events, watching you make this call into the Ramirez demonstrations through a window of a store, like a storefront. Just a bunch of TV standing on display. So we and now that we've seen you do this, we cut to a taller and more actual real panel of Finn. You're outside in the streets of Halcyon, and you're basically it's late. It was late when the gala was attended, and now it's yay late in the evening. It's night. So what are you doing? Where do we find you as we cut to you having run away from your issues?
He would probably be watching it on the on some either billboard or storefront or whatever was available.
Yeah, I think we established that the Ramirez demonstration has J. Jonah Jameson-esque mecha monitors on buildings all over the city.
Mm-hmm. And he probably would be standing he looks completely unimpressed by the whole situation, and he'd probably be standing in he wouldn't have new clothes on, so I suppose he's still in his fairly partially damaged the tux.
Yeah,
probably just a shirt and pants.
You look like a masquerade ball went through a shredder.
Yeah, indeed. So he probably just goes to an alley, changes into his superhero outfit. He has his. We just see him going into an alley, a flash, flash of light, and maybe he comes out with proper superhero outfit.
Yeah, your magic armor on you, and yeah.
Yeah, and he's thinking for a minute, looking clearly in the direction of where he came from. Thinking for a moment, thinking back for probably there are some speech bubbles running around, mix some of those some of the speech bubbles from the previous conversation, all the burns, the accusations, stuff.
A little memory soliloquy.
Yeah. He's just and the last one we have him literally close his eyes to imitate them getting louder and louder in his head. Mm-hmm. And the last one that we see is the the quote from the mayor, the deputy mayor, like being like there is the one mark that you should be thinking about or something like that. I don't remember the exact quote.
Yeah.
From the previous episode. Go look it up. And he's like, we see his like eyes like opening, and he's like looking like opposite direction that he was looking, and like and just making his way towards where he knows Mark lives, because we established he was like homeschooled, so he did not attend school.
Yeah.
But he wasn't in the hospital, so.
Poor Mark, totally isolated after his accident.
So you start making your way, like basically you like, cut in the vague direction of where you came from, and then change direction to move toward like downtown with a bunch of tall skyscrapers and like the beautiful glass structures of Central Halcyon, where in a like expensive apartment complex, Mark and Mark lives with his mother. And as you do so, we see you like move through Halcyon City. And next to you, like in a side panel, we see Vigil moving towards the museum. And then you like round the same corner, right? We have the panels of you moving on different streets and different alleyways, like all the way down the page. And then on the last panel, it's just a single wide panel of you rounding and like a corner opposite each other and looking at each other.
Oh, hey, Vigil.
He's like for a moment pondering the just ignoring and going further. It's like nice call there.
Oh, I smile. You
He doesn't.
You just deadpan it. Nice call there.
Yeah.
So.
We'll help you. We'll help your case certainly. Yeah.
I'll worry about that some of the time.
But
we received I'm guessing arcane or probably technology-based message from somebody. I'm going to check out the museum. Apparently, Deacon Graves wasn't on the up and up, but we already kind of figured that.
What was that voice like exactly?
There's a girl's voice saying that we're being used by Graves, that he's playing us. The others are still at the mall. I'm heading out towards the museum to check the validity of this.
So I think we just talked about like giant monitors and like billboard displays.
Mm-hmm.
As this is happening, we see a billboard from the Channel 6 news. But now it's no longer the Ramirez demonstrations, it's like one of their news hour reels. Talking about like in the immediate aftermath of the horrible showdown tonight, where an unannounced attack was made against a civilian area in Halcyon City, targeting a charity effort for the Radian crisis, Radia crisis. In the aftermath of that, tensions are flaring as Kundat and Radia prepare for war. More about this. As new. We will be bringing you more about this as news come in.
More news on the hour.
Yeah, I kind of like nod my head to the billboard and like, yeah, I'm gonna check on that.
He's thinking about it. I was going to do something. He's clearly like thinking of like considering if he should tell Nightshade or not. It's like, I don't know. Yeah. Do you need my help?
It's just simple recon, and I kind of put my hand on your shoulder, like, hey, it got heated back there, but everything's going to be okay. We elected you the leader for a reason. I'm going to try and comfort and support Finn.
That's very sweet. Why don't you roll to comfort and support, and we'll see if he opens up to you.
Yeah, I'm going to honor that you have influence, so it's like
Okay, so yeah.
7. This.
All right. So that's a hit. You can either offer carrot or stick.
Let's open this up.
They mark potential, clear condition, or shift light.
Looks like you can, mark potential, clear condition, or shift labels if you open up.
I think he will open up, but not exactly in like how you will say this. He will like look Nightshade like straight in the eyes and be like, I appreciate your confidence, previous confidence in me, but with all the recent events that happened, I do not think that I should be the leader anymore. I think and he puts his hand on his shoulder, and it's like he look and be like, I think you are much more suited for this. You clearly have more respect of and more support of the other teammates, and I sadly failed at keeping this team together over and over again. I'm sure that you will do much better job than I do. I need to clear my head, and I need to take care of some long overdue business. I think I will see you. I will see you later. I appreciate your words, but I think I just need some time to myself right now.
Do you feel like he's opening up to you?
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Yeah.
But
I will not.
Before we start talking about any of this, remove your guilty condition.
Can I? I don't think he stopped being guilty. I would rather mark potential.
Yeah, but before we do anything else, remove your guilty condition, because you just made a sacrifice to clear your guilt.
Oh yeah.
You gave up leadership of the group because.
Yes. I didn't even think about it, to be fair.
No, that's fine. That's. I try to be here for those times where you don't think about it.
And he marked potential.
All right, cool.
For this.
Do you feel like he opened up to you, Nightshade?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so yeah, mark potential.
And unless I think, he like pats him on the shoulder, like while his hand is still there, and I trust you, Nightshade, to do much better job than I did, and watch yourself out there, because this whole situation is it's much bigger than we imagine. I think something is not right here. Mystical voices from out of nowhere, weird hints. I don't like this. And he starts to leave. He does not like bolt up, but he starts to leave, like still towards the Mark's house.
Yeah.
And unless Nightshade like stops him, he would be like slowly making his way forward.
Yeah, I think Nightshade is kind of like speechless at this point, so he just kind of like turns like surprised, slack-jawed, watching you go.
Right, so
That
you
sounded
you
kind
react
of
with silence.
final. I mean, There was a sort of finality to that, watch yourself out there.
Yeah,
Jesus.
this is like a hard connotation to those words. Like, I don't know what Nightshade takes away from it, but yeah, congratulations, more responsibility for the Janus.
Right.
All right.
Advancement, yes.
Why do I have an
fourth.
image right now of a shadow walking out of a person walking out of an alleyway? You just see them in silhouette with their backs turned, and there's a trash can, and out of the trash can hangs Spider-Man's mask. Why do I have this image right now?
Just in the trench coat.
Yes.
That is a classic image. For Peter Spider-Man, yeah. For Peter Parker to strive, Spider-Man must suffer, and for Spider-Man to strive, Peter Parker must
Peter
suffer.
Spider Parker.
Peter Parker, the spectacular Spider-Ham.
Well, we shared the names, Might be something there.
So, cut forward, we follow Vigil. As you arrive in downtown Halcyon City, every building here is glass, lit by like projector lights. Everything here is beautiful and like very elaborately decorated. Halcyon City stands as the greatest city on Earth for a reason, and the architecture does not suffer on account of it. So here you are, gazing up on a giant, tall prismoid building, like a winding series of greenish metal, greenish glass and dark gray metal, winding upwards in a marvel of modern architecture. And you know that on that floor is where Mark lives.
Is this one of those buildings? Is this just flat glass building, or is it just actually? Does it have those porches outside window?
It totally have very elaborate outside porches, because the entire thing swings. Imagine that someone tried to build an apartment complex out of a DNA strand.
Okay.
It has that double helix thing going on.
He would probably try to, using his speed and agility, kind of climb to where he. And now we have to establish if you ever were to at Mark's place, because I imagine he would at some point.
Yeah, I imagine you had decent rapport with the guy. He was a team member and so on. So probably.
So probably he would know where the Mark's window is, because he wants to vividly avoid stumbling onto deputy mayor.
All right. So we see you climb up. There's no contention in you actually getting up there. It's no problem. So we just cut to an inside shot of a room with some light spilling out onto the veranda, and you arriving up over the banister of the place, and there's a panoramic sliding glass door.
Does he see anybody inside?
You see a well lit apartment, very spacious. Apparently, being a city official pays well. I don't think you see anyone at home, but it's lit, so there's probably someone home. You don't see movement inside.
He wants to go to the window that he remembers might be specifically the Mark's room window.
Yeah, you see a wheelchair-bound person looking at a television.
Yeah, he would probably do this knock on the window, would be out of the frame, to the side of the window.
Yeah. And when you do that, we see the little knock from off frame. We deliberately don't see Mark's face. We just see torso down, and then some kind of plaid carpet over his thighs as he's sitting in the wheelchair. But he doesn't seem to respond to your knocking. He's just watching a television.
Okay, so he wants to just slowly. Well, first, if that was D&D, I would check for alarms, but he would probably just slowly, silently open a window and just maybe sit like on a bed or something behind Mark if he's unnoticed.
Mhm. Yeah,
And-
you can see he's watching some kind of like an old western, like a black and white western. He's watching some kind of channel that when it reaches a certain point past nightfall, just switches to like old bullshit, and
Yeah.
it's like as far as like probably you're concerned, as far as like Mark is concerned, like utter trash TV, but it's just like running.
He probably like watches the movie too, and he like for a second, and after like a little bit passed, it's like he's like I never knew you liked old westerns.
He doesn't respond. You're greeted with raw silence. And again, we very deliberately don't have a shot of his face.
Yep. I love the chat. Yeah, like Vigil would be like, what? That's odd. Well, Vigil fit. Yeah, and he would slowly like come closer, like and be like put a hand on arm, and like before he notices anything, if there's anything to notice, he'll be like, I'm sorry it has been so long.
As you touch him, there's a little like very subtle movement to him, like he's like giving a very subtle start as you touch him, but there is not enough movement there to be comparable to any kind of reflex. It's just like very slow and muted.
Well, he investigates.
Yeah, as you like turn to like go around to look at the wheelchair, we see in the light of the television, we see Mark. We haven't really seen him before, but we see the face of a like teenage boy. His hair greasy, kempt but greasy, like greased with sweat. Sitting, his eyes wide open but empty. His breathing heavy and controlled, but like he just like and a bit of drool hanging out the side of his mouth. And when you look at him, his eyes like shift and he looks up to you like very slowly, as if through like a heavy miasma. He just looks and he opens his mouth. He's like, but doesn't say anything. And there's like he shudderingly moves his hand, but can't really seem to muster the strength to raise it off the rest of his wheelchair.
Okay, confirmation. We know that he just when we established him as a character, we know that he just lost a power in his legs.
Yeah, he was just in the largest air quotes I have ever uttered a quadriplegic.
Yeah. It's like I'm like.
Well, that
I'm like
would make him paralyzed in both arms and legs.
Sorry, from the waist down.
From the waist.
I mean, the just is justified in that this is a superhero world. A lot of very horrible stuff can happen to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just making sure that we're on the same page. Yeah, and it's
That's
like
just mommy dearest drugging him.
like I would try to like completely go into like the investigative mode and be like what happened here, and like not trying to ask him questions because he's clearly not
Responsive.
not responsive to that, but he's trying to assess, is there any pills all over, is there any
Give me an assessing of the situation.
yeah, that was it. And this is the Superior. Oh my god, no.
Oh,
Yes.
Yep.
Da, 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 da.
So, this is bad news, and yeah, that is totally
No.
what's up. So you roll that, and you look around, and you find that on his bedstand, there's like a very elaborate and expensive looking crane to help him out. But next to that, on his bedstand, there is a bunch of like open pill glasses. It seems to like be littered with all kinds of numbers and lettering in any and all sorts of combination that you could possibly imagine, and none of them look inviting or healthy.
He's like, well, fuck, Mark, what did you do? And it's like, assessing the situation, like looking at his phone, like, fuck, way too slow. And he's just basically taking Mark on his hands and just bursting through the door, through all the doors, just running him to the closest hospital, like, where is the whatever this is.
All right. So you grab him and you rush to the hospital. Like we see you basically like rush out of the building, and as you leave, we linger on a shot of the pill glasses. Like you just run out, and we see them standing in the background. The next frame over, next panel over, we see like a close up of him, and we see on the bottom of them it says Graves Incorporated.
Obviously.
Oh shit.
Obviously.
Or like some kind of like pharmaceutical, like it's the dire sign, and it called like
just to establish this, my character did not notice the labels.
I will, you know what? Yeah, for the sake of convenience, you totally noticed, right? That's part of the Bad News Bear series. That you're like,
okay,
oh
sure.
dear.
I was just wanting to differentiate if that was the audience or character thing.
Yeah. But the word I'm looking for, I think, is subsidiary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he would just be.
Yeah. So we see you like rush in that direction. You like kick down the door to a local hospital, right? It's just like a hard cut between segments. You kick open the door to Halcyon City General, and like bring Mark in, and someone is there quickly enough, right? Like someone greets you at the reception. It's like, what's wrong? What's going on here?
Yeah, he's like, it's my friend. He took a lot of medicine, everything he had on his shelf.
All right, we'll give him a diagnostic immediately. And like she gestures for some nurses to come out, and they put him on what's it called? Yeah,
a gurney.
A gurney, and like starts rolling him down the hallway. And she looks at you, and she's like, "Do you have any idea what those pills were?"
He's trying to remember as much as he can, I suppose. As like he's saying that he's a, his previous condition that he's a paraplegic. So he probably like, I don't know. As far as he tries to list of them as many as he remembered. If
all right, so again, part of the Bad News here is that you don't remember.
Yeah, so he probably lists like I don't know. I assume it's like a lot of. I haven't looked. I'm sorry, I haven't looked.
All right. Who is this person? You said he was your friend.
Yes.
Do you have any parents we can contact? Any information pertinent to who he is or his medical records?
I'll tell them the name. It's like Mark. We never established his last name.
Nielsen.
Mark. His Mark Nielsen. He's the son of the deputy mayor.
So she visibly like has a reaction to that when you say that, right? When she's like, "Oh dear, oh god." Well, I'm sure we're gonna take care of this right away. I'm gonna make sure we can call them. Do you have a number directly to her, or should I look it up? You don't.
He probably would have like his home number, maybe.
Yeah.
If in this world there are still stationary phones.
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah. So basically, like you have an exchange. She goes to like call her, and she says, "You can stay here and wait if you want to." And
like he's probably like looking at her. Just give me any information, any fucking like.
We'll be doing everything we can. Sit down, young man. Take it easy. You've done all you can.
He probably he's like leaning over the counter, but like he's gripping the counter. He's so nervous. He's gripping the counter so hard that there are probably starting to be like cracks in the counter when he's gripping them. like his fingers like literally digging into the wood or the whatever the counter is made of.
Yeah, sure. So she seems to get hold of who she's talking to, and she's like you get half of a phone conversation, and it's just like I see. Well, very, very well. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'll go check immediately. Thank you. And she hangs up, and she excuses herself and leaves, and just like leaves you to sit there.
And he's like very, very agitated, like looking around for anything, just anybody coming in towards him. If it's a nurse, if it's to be fair, if it's anybody other than nurse, he would be probably worried. But nurse or a doctor, I mean.
Very good.
Yeah. So he just would.
You sit there, and let's just for a second. Actually, no, I'm gonna finish the scene up, and then we can cut sideways and see what happens to the others. So you sit there, you wait for an undeterminable amount of time. Time, as always. Now that we remember that a sub theme of this series here is time stuff, and as with all hospitals, time in here moves in erratic and unpredictable ways, and typically very slowly. But
unless someone is going into cardiac arrest, in which case it goes way too quickly.
Yes, exactly. So as you sit there, you don't get any response, and it seems like an infuriating amount of time is passing. But then, as you're like looking down the hall, you feel a hand on your shoulder. You hear you hear a voice going, "Now, son. It's about time you come with us."
Oh dear.
Uh-oh.
And he before even he turns around, he realized who this probably is. It's like,
yeah, as you turn around, you look up on the form of several uniformed officers.
Police.
Yeah, police officers. One of them like has a hand on like the beheaded hand on your shoulder, and looking down at you with like World War I mustache going on. Seems like to be in his late 40s. And yeah, just basically like the blue uniforms, the police department hats on, right, like caps, and a what is supposed to look like a non-threatening hand resting at his belt, very near a taser. Just like,
that's
come now, son. There is you've done all you can here. Let's come on. You have something to answer for. Let's go.
What?
Yeah, he's taking the kid from his home without the consent of Mark's parents.
He's breaking and entering.
Yeah,
there's a couple of things that
he like hoists an arm on he hoists his hand in under your arm and tries to like pull you up and like he goes through the procedure of trying to turn you around and put cuffs on you.
you
he's like
he's
like clenching his fist but putting his hands forward. He looking at the policeman very seriously, and it's like that cuffs won't be necessary, but I'm going with you peacefully.
Damn
one
right.
condition.
Damn right you are.
Shh. I'm like, one condition. I'm serious about it. I want an update on him.
No conditions, boy. You don't get to make any decisions here. And you see like a more corpulent, less inviting looking officer like come around the bend from where this guy's at. He has like some mustard stains on his police uniform.
That must be Uncle Noah then.
Bit of a double chin going on. And he just like grabs your shoulder and like tries to like apply the cuffs forcefully. He's like, "You're under arrest."
Like literally, he cannot move me.
Yeah, but that's what he tries to do. Like, "You're under arrest on the charge of kidnapping, breaking and entering, and endangering a person's life, as well as suspicion on multiple associated charges. Now, just come in now. We don't want this to get fuzzy."
I'm like this made me like amused, like you even could, and I'm just going with them, but like you even could.
Yeah. So this guy's like taking a great pleasure in dragging you out in cuffs. And as you go outside,
maybe at some point, if he's going like close behind me, I'm just at some point just like pretending to stumble out of it and stop in place, so he just stumble into me. Maybe if he's just being too cocky,
just like make a show of it where he just walks into you, like there's a
like,
couple of stars over his head.
Oh, sorry. Like, I'm still cuffed. I'm not moving anything. Like, oh, sorry. I'm such a clumsy boy.
And as you get out of the hospital, you see like a good like chunk of like 4 or 6 police cars have like surrounded the entrance, and there's a bunch of cops out there holding shotguns, not aiming them at you, but they have like clearly approached you like calmly and quietly to see if you would come, but they have arrived in force.
Obviously. Any Aegis members?
They're not Aegis members. They seem to be just...
No, I'm asking if there's any around.
No, there is just like regular beat cops, no Aegis represented, and they've brought a paddy wagon that they're like...
Because the mayor lady doesn't control Aegis, but she can call all the cops.
And she did.
And as you were like getting moved towards the paddy wagon, you see breaking off from the crowd and like walking past the police with like an escort of what looks like private security. You see Diane Nielsen walking with the determined haste of a worried mother with just one thing on her mind. And as she looks at you, for a split second her concentration wavers. She just turns and, like, as she walks past you, stares for a moment and slaps you open palm across the face.
Oh, Jesus.
Slap you across the face, and then she like turns her head in a huff and she storms into the hospital.
No, like immediately after the slap, while she's still like in the aftermath of the swing, he allows his face to be moved, obviously, because it's weird if his face didn't move. But like he's looking like with a calm and confident at her, like it's going to be fine. Don't worry. And like he is just, and no matter her reaction is like,
what you see her like you see like the back of a swinging ponytail as she storms into the building, right? Like coat like dragged her like worn over her shoulders, and she vanishes into the building as you're being put inside the paddy wagon. And then the door shut, and we cut sideways to the rest of you guys. Now, Vigil, what were you up to?
Nightshade.
Sorry, Nightshade. Thank you.
I was headed back to the destroyed museum of art in order to, I guess, see what the disembodied voice was talking about.
Yeah. So, looking around there, you don't immediately find anything. You have to sneak past like a couple of like security personnel. There's some firefighters digging through the ruins. There's some police manning a couple of barricades. But other than that, it's not like they've locked the place down. They've just established a secure zone. But you have to sneak past them, which is no issue for you. And then you like can sift through the rubble in the night. So I guess you can't see in nighttime, so you have an issue here of it being pitch black out. Okay. So what do you do about that? Like, have you brought a torch?
Yeah, I think he just like breaks out his cell phone and turns the flashlight on.
Makes sense.
But as he gets there, he kind of like says to himself, he's like, "All right, I'm here. What's it you wanted me to see?"
Yeah.
And kind of like starts walking around and investigating.
All right. So as you walk around looking, you may give me a assess the situation roll to see if you can pick anything up.
Great.
You find a quarter.
You find a quarter. You find a dime. All is well in the world. So you get to ask me a question here.
What is your name?
Favorite color?
What here can I use to figure out what the voice was talking about?
All right, very good. So, what you find is you find the remnants of a piece of like a shredded. You find it like a shredded. What am I thinking of here? That's the word I'm looking for. Clipboard. from the person like attending, the security person, that's like lost in the rubble of the ruin. And as you like, you've been sifting through things, looking things over. There's a bit of like scorched rock everywhere. There's a bit of blood splatter too, but mostly it's destruction of property. And you pick this clipboard out of the rune stones, and as you look down the clipboard, one thing stands out to you, and that is the fact that the ambassador for Radia, whose name I have not figured out, but I will find it out if you want to know it, but if not, then I'll wait till next time. The ambassador for Radia, who's supposed to show up, has not shown up. He is deliberately marked as like not being present, and you would absolutely imagine that he would be here in a gala for the Radiant Crisis.
Right. So I quickly snap a picture of this with my phone and kind of put the clipboard back.
Yep. You realize, like, looking at it, that he's, like, it starts, like, coming to you, that he's been warned to stay away.
Mm-hmm. All right. Make a note of that, and then I'm going to keep looking around to see if there's anything else.
Yeah, you don't find anything else worth particular note. Actually, that's not true. So you find a place where a piece of rebar has been used to like hoist a large rock off of another large rock, and there's a bit of blood spatter near it, which is totally where Starlight was trapped.
Uh-huh.
And you see like a couple of droplets of blood on the stones that just like look untouched. But then, like right next to them, it's as though someone has like wiped a few fingers over it. Now, this might just be, something that happened while Starlight was getting up, but it also might be that someone has been here and taken notice.
Yeah. So I kind of crouch down, look at it, take another picture with my phone, and then put my phone away.
As you do so, we cut backwards and sideways for just like 4 or 5 minutes earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And we cut to you guys in the arcade.
Yay!
As you're like doing what you're doing, like a couple of pizzas have arrived, a burger has arrived, like not to this address but nearby. You've picked it up.
Yeah.
The world's nastiest pizza is presently like in a place of honor.
I think perhaps we will see Sparrow in a monkey form hanging by her tail and with a slice of perfectly normal pizza dangling it towards Diamond going, "Come on, taste it!"
Diamond is hissing at it in a decidedly hostile kind of way and jabbing her complimentary supersized hot dog in that direction, like, go away, go away.
It's just pepperoni. It's just a different kind of sausage.
Get it away.
Cool. So as we see you like do this and have your shenaniganry going on, the still on television brings an urgent news report, and you see a helicopter shot of somewhere downtown. You don't like wherever, but the text scroll says just like breaking news at the Halcyon City General. And you have a helicopter shot of a bunch of cop cars arriving and surrounding the place, a paddy wagon driving up, and then the camera worker on the helicopter is like doing like a zoom job as you see someone get like dragged out of the hospital, and you hear the news reporter talk like, just like this very moment, one of the city's young vigilantes, known a member of the superhero order known as the Vigil, has been arrested on charges of kidnapping. The young member is also wanted on suspicion of his connection with the vigilante known as Nightshade, as well as several charges of destruction of property, including a building downtown earlier last month, as well as for questioning about the damages incurred to the Museum of the Arts earlier tonight. Police have yet to make a comment, and like that kind of spiel goes on as you see Vigil being dragged out of the General City Hospital and put into a paddy wagon.
Diamond?
Yeah.
Point to TV.
Damned.
The young man was arrested for the abduction of a Mark Nielsen, the son
Mark?
the son of a city council member, and like the picture of Mark looking way younger and standing up, like it's been shown on screen, and then a picture of his mom. When say like Diana Nielsen has remarked that she will prosecute to the full extent of the law, and then the tirade goes on.
She did say, when I confronted her, she did say that she was thinking of a completely different Mark. Let me guess, this is it.
Yeah, when we first came together, he wanted to be part of the team, but he was just, well, I don't mean this in a bad way, but he was just a normal person, and he got hurt. He was paralyzed from the waist down.
Good grief.
Why would Vigil kidnap him?
I assume he must have had the mother of all good reasons, because I really do not want to believe that Vigil is so unbelievably, monumentally dumb that he goes out there because we had this argument to prove something about saving people and trying to, oh, good grief. No, it cannot be the reason. He's not that dumb.
I agree. I wonder why. Maybe his mom was mistreating him, but Jesus. Or whatever.
It is now like cut into a panel that has been thrown together where they have a phone conference with someone who's like, I don't even know what, like a local person who's like very vocally anti-super, like shouting into a microphone about like, this is what's wrong with society.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And something about the youth these days.
Here's the thing. If he has actually done this, and if he's in police custody, there's very little we can do to help him without breaking the law ourselves.
Yeah, I hate to say this, but I'm really hoping the Vigil will step in on his behalf.
Yeah, so do I. Because if we do anything here, I mean, Nightshade is going to be, I mean, he's already got half the city against him, or at least a very vocal minority against him, because of Susan Snotface on Channel 6.
New
So
official
that's-
name.
So if he goes to say or do anything in Vigil's defense, it's automatically going to turn public opinion even more against him. If I go to do anything, well, the last thing we need is for another Death Knight or two to land on top of the police station. That's not going to endear anyone to anyone, you know. I'm pretty sure that qualifies as me being reckless, just to keep in tune with his own argument.
And if I show up, his mom will just blame me for Mark's condition.
Exactly. You tried to talk to her already, and she was the one who, well, not to put too fine a point on it, but who brushed you off and treated you like a common criminal.
What is Starlight's way in on this? I'm wondering.
Starlight has gone to bed.
Oh.
She wrote a message 10 minutes ago.
I didn't even notice. Huh. Well, keep going.
So basically what I assume is that Starlight has fallen asleep on one of the couches with a stomach full of yummy pizza, and Jewel has tucked her in with a couple of blankets and a pillow under her head.
That sounds about right.
And
For once, sleeping in peace, knowing she has no powers.
Exactly. Let her get a good night's rest.
I guess in a situation like that, as horrible as it is, she would have needed someone to blame.
Yeah, I guess. I guess that is the case.
I mean,
However,
the only other choice would be blaming herself. And that,
yes, but projection. Now that we're talking about, let's just stick with the theme for tonight, shall we? Projection is not healthy, and that's if her son, who, as you say, is a normal person, wants to go out there and play superhero. Now, unless he did so without without her having any knowledge of it whatsoever, I can't say if that's the case or not, but if she did have even the slightest hint of this, the failing is on her.
So at this point, are you just agreeing with each other not to do anything about this, or like is one of you trying to work the other up into doing something?
No, I think at least in Diamond's case, the thing to do right now is to await the situation and how it plays out, and yes, the Vigil is likely to step in and do something here, because if we do, we are going to aggravate the situation.
actually, I think Sparrow will say, well, if we're hoping the Vigil steps in, perhaps we should contact his mother. They don't seem to agree on everything internally, and
No.
she seems to be on our side at least.
That's good, but I hate to say that my cell phone, she says, and taps the side of her head, doesn't have 1-800 Vigil coded into it.
Do we know where Vigil's mom usually hangs around?
Probably not. But I will let the brain answer that question.
Brain?
You know where the Vigil headquarters are. That's one. And and since my sanctuary has the downside that is it's easily found, or everybody knows about it, or
It's in
something
the
like
phone
that.
registry.
Yeah, it's like you might start there somewhere. Like you know where I live, I suppose.
Well, we can
And
go
you
there
know
and
where
start.
the Vigil headquarters.
Let's start with his place. See
Yeah.
if there's anything.
So
he
you
might have-
go to find his mother.
Well, we start by going to his place, because at least I don't know about you, but Diamond doesn't know the exact time frame of all of this. She doesn't know if he's, she obviously he didn't, but she doesn't know if he has gone by his own place first, and if there might be something we can find there.
Oh yeah, that's totally
And
something I need you to
and
go on.
she definitely wants to make sure and check that there isn't anything incriminating there, because teammate, even if he is a kid.
I getcha.
Yeah. So Sparrow will offer you a ride.
So there's
Or
a
a
thing I need to
lift.
ask you before we go to you doing this, and that is if you contact Nightshade.
Hell yes. He did have a cell phone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Diamond, for a moment, there's that red glare in one of her eyes as she dials.
Right. Yeah. So you're like out taking pictures using your phone as a torch, when suddenly it goes and it's from a number you don't know who is.
Oh, I wanted to know what his ringtone was.
I am according.
There
you
is
with,
an idiot calling you.
I am according you with
It's
enough
still
respect to
calling
assume
you.
that you have enabled noiseless you
Yeah,
have
to silent it.
it's on silent mode while you're sneaking around behind a police barrier.
Yeah. So yeah, a number that he doesn't recognize. He kind of looks at his phone for a bit. Kind of looks around and then presses the accept button. Hello?
Hi, it's Jewel.
Oh, okay. I need to add your number to my phone.
Okay,
Anyways, what's
yes.
up?
I need to add your brain to this phone.
I don't know if you know, but Finn was just arrested for abducting Mark. Wasn't that his name?
Yeah.
What?
He's in police custody, and
Shit.
Madam Vice Mayor is saying she's going to sue him into the next millennium.
The Vigil's not going to let that happen, but still.
No, I'm sure they won't. But basically, I mean, Starlight is asleep on the couch, which is a good thing because, you know, for pity's sakes, the girl really needs a good night's sleep. But White Sparrow and I are pretty much of the agreement that there's very little we can really do. I mean, you have most of the city against you already. If you turn up, you're going to make his case worse. If I turn up and there are 2 more of those robot things landing on the roof, what's that going to do? And Sparrow had an argument with Madam Vice Mayor earlier in the evening about Mark. What are we going to, you know, we are going to have to get the Vigil involved, but you know, we're heading to Finn's place now. Could you perhaps come by there and we can hook up?
Yeah, I'll make my way there now.
Thank you.
Nice.
He clicks it off.
So cut to like it's very late by now. It's almost early. That's how late it is. And we see like the lights of whatever transportation you have light up the entrance of Vigil's sanctum. Is that the word? Your sanctum, your sanctuary, your something?
Yeah, sanctuary is like it's basically like a lakeside house cabin.
All right. So yeah, as you arrive at that place, you like walk in, you meet up, you start like looking through it for clues, and as you're like turning stuff over in there and being like, can we move anything incriminating? You hear the voice of his mother, of Vigil's mother, speaking to you from in the room, saying, "There's nothing here." And she steps out into the moonlight.
Right.
Well, I guess we found what we came for.
Yeah, that's the main reason why we came here, was to first and foremost make sure there was nothing here that could make things worse for him, as if it isn't bad enough. And secondly, to see if we could find some way of contacting you.
Well, I'm here. What do you want?
I'm assuming you've seen what happened to Finn.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Well, we
You gonna
can't
tell me
really
what that's
step
about?
in. We don't know. We had an argument, he left, and
He's
then
your
that.
teammate.
Yes, he is. We had an argument, as Sparrow is saying. He left in a huff. Had very little interest in talking to any of us after that. And quite frankly, the thing at the time seemed to, it was best to let him have a little time to cool off.
Well, that's an astounding amount of bad judgment on your part, then, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Quiet girl. She looks towards
No,
Sparrow.
I am not going to be quiet. Shut the fuck up.
What are you gonna do about this?
We rightly cannot step in because most of us have a bad history with Mark's mother, and well,
Sounds like a personal problem. He's your teammate.
and he's your son.
We can't deal in. You can't deal with it. I'm not permitted. You think I don't want to?
What do you mean you're not permitted?
The
Quite
Vigil has
frankly-
decided to let this go.
Quite frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't want to.
She steps
Yeah.
she steps into your personal space. She's like, "What did you just say?"
You heard me.
You have
Okay, I
always seemed a
interpose
bit
myself
frigid.
between them.
Yeah.
Whoa, everyone calm down.
Don't break my house, please.
The Vigil has decided to let this go. By order of the Elder, even I can't step in here. He says Finn has proven himself a full member of the Vigil and so must take responsibility for his actions.
Mm-hmm.
We are not permitted to interfere. I, however, am not content to let Diane, Miss Nielsen, slaughter him in court. You are gonna have to deal with this. I trust you to deal with it. You are his team. You will do this.
You are his mother. And you're not in a position to give us orders.
I have heard just about enough out of you, young lady.
I don't give a damn.
Quiet.
No.
Diamond, hush.
No. Why should I be quiet? Because this arrogant bitch is condescending and ordering us around while clearly not lifting a finger for her son because some old git is giving her an orders. Talk about maternal feelings here. No, I am not going to be quiet, and I don't give a shit what she has to say about it, nor is she in any position to give me an order to be quiet about anything. The woman is an idiot.
At some point in the future, when you grow up, you will understand. She's telling you who you are and how the world works, trying to put you down here. Are you gonna accept her influence?
No, of course not.
Alright, roll to reject.
I want to assist.
You can't.
I know.
Well, I would like to tell her a thing or two afterwards, if that's entirely possible.
We'll find out.
Because, quite frankly, I thought that was what I'd been doing.
There's a hit there.
There.
Yeah.
So let's see. You choose one. You can either clear a condition or mark potential by immediately acting to prove her wrong, that she's wrong about you being a kid. You can shift the label up and down, your choice, and you can cancel her influence and take +1 forward against her.
Yes. I am going to take potential by proving her wrong. I do that by turning around, showing her the barcode on my shoulder and saying, you know what this means? This means I'm not a kid anymore. This means I have spent time being taken apart and tortured. I have tried very, very hard, very, very, very hard indeed to remain a human being, despite way too many trying to make me into something less. You have absolutely no idea what I have gone through already. And you are standing there like this arrogant, pompous, overblown, self-indulgent pig that you are, and you have the fucking temerity to tell me that I am a child.
Awesome.
You are the useless mother in this, not me.
That is so awesome. So, she, there's that moment of, we see a 2D representation of you, being up in her face about this.
Yeah.
And she's standing cross-armed, looking down on you. Mm-hmm. And as you do this, you definitely succeed. So pick one, clear a condition, mark potential, or mark potential.
I mark potential, which takes me up to 5.
All right, cool. And you absolutely succeed at this. She looks at you, there's that moment where you definitely get through to her. She realizes you're not a child. Mm-hmm. You can see it dawning on her face that is the case.
Yes.
And then you see the shift in her when the weight of your words are no longer coming from a child but from an adult. Mm-hmm. And we cut to the outside of the building as you explode through the side of it. The entire building collapses sideways, half of the front. You skitter out through the dirt, rolling sideways, skipping like a stone into the lake. And and as you pull yourself up from the water, you see the light of her pickup truck shining through the building, casting a light as a projector behind her. And you just see her silhouette standing on the porch of the house as she steps forward, looking at you it's about to go down right here, right now. She's not taking that.
I want to step in front of her.
Yeah, I was about to say.
And we see like both. We see you in the background, Sparrow, like moving to step in front of her. We see where Nightshade being like, "Whoa, I gotta deal with this." But you're both cast in this like backlighting, and we end on like the last picture we see is that picture of like her like cracking her knuckles, being like looking like a fury right out of hell. And the two of you being like, "Whoa!" in the background.
Personally, I've just won the argument.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I have utterly won this argument. There is nothing she can do to come back from this. She can beat me up, sure, and I'm sure she will. But I won the argument.
Yeah, she's treating you like the adult you claim to be, because you didn't prove her wrong. You were like, "Yep, like look at this," but then you also did take it to a point where her response would be like, "Okay, no."
Oh yeah. Exactly.
So yeah,
and I'm fine. And I'm fine with it. But as I said, she is the one who basically took an argument and turned it into violence.
Absolutely.
She's already lost.
Yeah, you might think that.
I mean, I have no doubt that she's gonna beat me up, but that doesn't change.
Not if I can help it.
Well, you know, like what I'm saying here is like it's a matter of what you place value on, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So in this case, let's bring it to a halt here. Let's talk about whether or not we got closer to each other or whether or not we grew apart. So
well, I still have the 5 potential. Should I? I mean, that's the first time I've gotten to that.
So you have 5 potential now.
Yeah.
So you blank your potential and pick an advancement.
Well, you can technically pick it at any time.
Yeah.
When it's appropriate.
Someone permanently loses influence over you. Add +1 to a label.
Yep, you can pick that.
Yes, I would. I would say that the organization known as the Vigil has just proven themselves to be someone I have no respect for whatsoever.
You have to select a specific person.
Okay, it has to be a person. It can't be the organization. All right.
The organization doesn't really matter, right? The snake cult is inconsequential. What matters is Brother Viper and his magical serpent staff, right? He is the guy who we care about in that organization. So you saying "fuck you, Brother Viper, I don't care what you think," essentially extends to this organization really holds no sway over you.
Yeah, but the problem here is that there are 2 people that she's angry enough at right now that they could both lose influence. But on one hand, this woman is just leaving her cold. So... Yeah, and I know that they usually say that, you know, if somebody loses influence over you, it should be an NPC.
You just have to pick one character. It doesn't have to
be... It can be PC or NPC.
Yeah, it can be a PC too.
Yeah, well, in that case, Finn loses influence over her permanently.
All right. So, cool. So mark that. Take a note that you have permanently locked Finn out of your influence sphere.
I will.
And now, let's go on to asking some questions.
Oh, I need to add 1 to a label, by the way. So
yeah,
I'll do that.
What will you be adding to?
I am, because of what just happened here, I'm adding +1 to Superior because I certainly provoked her.
Yep. All right. So you permanently increase your Superior.
Yep.
That's awesome. Well done. And now, let's ask some questions. So, did you, Diamond, grow closer to the team, grow into your image of yourself, or grow away from the team?
No, I grew closer to the team.
Who made you feel welcome?
Actually, White Sparrow did.
Cool.
Because she was the one. She was the one who stood up and said, "No, she has a point."
Cool.
And as I also wrote in the in the bio and info, if you go down to views and teammates, I updated that, as I said, and that meant something. So White Sparrow gets influence.
All right. Do you already have influence, White Sparrow?
I did not.
All right. So now you have influence. You can clear a condition or mark potential, Diamond.
I still have no conditions, so I'll mark potential.
Sweet. All right. Next up, Finnoa. Did you grow closer to the team, grow into your image of your own self, or grow away from the team?
I'm not sure. Uh, just. Hmm. It's kind of like it's kind of like neither one of those, because it was not as extreme to grow away from the team.
Into himself, then? Gained a new understanding of himself, his own strengths or limitations or whatever?
Yeah, you shed the mantle of leader today. That implies
Yeah,
some kind of
that's
growth.
that exactly.
Yeah, I think I'll shift me labels.
What will you be
I-
shifting up and down, and how do you see yourself right now?
Well, he's seeing himself as less of a leader, less of a, you know, I would not say law-abiding person, but like less of a, kind of less of a team player, like less of a, less kind of like a better of than everybody, like.
You had a bad experience with leadership, and you allowed it to
Yeah.
get to you. So okay,
Yeah,
cool.
indeed, and
Shift your labels.
I think she shifts superior down and mundane up.
Awesome. All right. Next up is Nightshade. Did you go closer to the team, into your own image of yourself, or further away from the team?
Probably closer to the team.
Right? Who made you feel closer or welcome?
There's a lot of it in this episode for Nightshade, but I think Finn
All right.
was the one by shifting leadership over to him.
Give influence to Finn.
I already had.
All right. So shift his labels.
Let me look at your label. Show your labels to me. No, definitely mundane down, superior up.
All right.
Cool. Clearer condition or mark potential.
I will mark potential.
All right.
Potential.
Starlight is not here, so I'll ask her off cam. But White Sparrow,
Yes.
did you grow closer to the team, grow into your own image of yourself, or grow away from the team?
I definitely think I grew into the team, closer
Alright.
to the team. That's what it's worded like.
Who made you
Works.
feel welcome?
I would say Diamond.
All right. Give Diamond
Woo!
influence.
I already have influence from last time.
All right. Shift White Sparrow's labels.
I will shift her.
I think you can go and see my labels, right?
Yeah, everyone can.
I can see.
Oh
your-
no, I'm
Everyone can see
exposed.
it.
Oh God, I didn't even know. That's okay. Well, in that case, I will shift your I will shift your mundane up, because comfort and support people. You definitely made Diamond feel welcome and better about herself, and she will shift your freak down.
Cool.
That makes sense.
So there we go. White Sparrow, did you make any progress on defeating your doom?
Didn't I get anything from growing into the team?
Yeah, you do. Sorry. Do you want to clear condition or mark potential?
I want to mark potential.
Very good. I'm sorry about that. And now my question.
Didn't you get that thing with the bird on your? Does that have anything?
If that counts in any way,
I
otherwise no.
I feel like it's not significant enough to constitute like a defeat of your, like to make a progress in your doom track.
I mean, it's significant in that I overcame my feeling, oh fuck, this whole Raven business is my fault. That turned into, but I have to do something. But I feel like that's what it did, and not so much actually hindered Black Raven.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
think that's honest enough. So let's mark your doom track.
One more mark on my Doom track, and I get my first Doom power.
Doom sign.
Doom.
I think I might actually make that an actual physical sign on her body somehow.
Sounds
Your
fun.
face cracks.
Like
Then you-
black raven wings over her face
No,
or something.
No,
You
then
become
you,
a-
then-
She gets a beak.
You become
Oh.
a Dremora from
or
from
the-
Elder Scrolls. Just like
Oh right, yeah.
or the new that weird bird that appeared on her chest start having some black feathers inside them.
oh.
I'll figure it out.
You know.
All right. Very good. So, yeah, that's all for this time. That's all she wrote. Thank you for joining me for this session. Before we end, let's discuss what the front cover of this issue looks like.
Personally, it's either got to be the great big focused on the great big fight, or the great big fight in the mall between all of them, with arguing like hell, because that signifies sort of a strife and internal fighting in the group, which is it always sells. Either that, or I would say Finn being led out of the police station cuffed.
Or we have
Yeah.
like this. Or we have like this shot of Finn, like just like Finn is in the foreground, like half of him, like enough of him so you see the cuffs and hands and like his face, and in behind you see the team being like having the reactions to it, or like turned around.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
like
so
Yeah,
him
that
with,
works. That works.
Yeah, him with the handcuffs and the rest of them looking at him disapprovingly.
Yeah.
Well,
definitely.
everybody can have like their own reactions, their characteristic reactions.
Disapprovingly would fit for Diamond.
Yeah, Diamond probably stands there cross-armed, just looking like.
I think Sparrow would
Yeah.
look either disappointed or somewhat sad, like, "Oh, why did this have to happen?" ish.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
imagine Nightshade would just stand there like mostly like neutral, trying to keep like composure, since he's like since he was nominated leader, so he's like standing kind of in front of the team.
Looking very stoic.
Yes.
Very good. All right, so I'll take that. What's the title, if you have any suggestions for that?
Oh. Crisis in Halcyon. Crisis, Defender Crisis. Something with Crisis. It's definitely been a Crisis episode.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it is.
Crisis in Halcyon.
All right.
Suggestion, anyway.
I'll take it. Something Crisis. Crisis in Halcyon is a good one.
Yes.
All right, cool. So, Crisis in Halcyon, we have the front page as we shut this issue, and we pack it away in our stack of Halcyon City Defenders comics, and we wait the 2-week gap until we will get the next issue. So,
Yay!
thank you very much for joining me, guys. This was fun as usual.
This was awesome.
Yeah.
Is it 2 weeks yet? Are we
not
there
yet.
yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
I will turn this comic book around.
It's all right. See you guys around, okay?
Yeah, be cool,
Yeah.
everyone, and thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning into CharismaToAC. So, yeah, thank you very much for joining us. This is awesome. It's nice that you're listening in. I hope you have as much fun as we do. I've been Daniel. These have been my good friends, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.